everyone, this is Amanda from Amanda Around the Globe, and today I am so excited to make a video about mistakes I made in my 20s. So I recently made a video about the best decisions I made in my 20s. You guys can watch that here, I'll link it above. Today I'm really excited to make a video about the biggest mistakes I made in my 20s. So I have 10 mistakes. Here we go. Mistake number one is that one time I bought a pair of Juicy Couture jeans instead of paying my rent. I was having a bad day and I decided to go shopping. As you guys might know if you've been following me for a while, I used to go shopping as kind of like a thing. When I was bored or having a bad day, I'd go shopping. And so one day I was having a bad day and I went shopping. I was just kind of like in a YOLO kind of mood, and I just bought a pair of $500 Juicy Couture jeans instead of paying my rent. So my rent check bounced, and sadly that's not the only time that happened. It happened quite often when I was in college. Not the best idea. I did love those jeans, but it would have been much more responsible to just save up and buy them when I actually had the money for it. Mistake number two is working too much. I put so much effort into working a lot because I thought the more hours I worked, the more successful I was, and this obviously is not really true at all. I don't know why I had this idea in my head that this working a lot meant you were successful. Yeah, that was just not a good idea. It would have been a lot smarter to just be a lot more responsible with my money, and then I would have had a lot more money and not have had to work so much. As I've said in videos before, when I was in college I was working 3 jobs, and this did prevent me from getting student loans and getting into debt. I was making money that I was not using properly. Number 3 is thinking that travel was too expensive and that it was not worth the investment. This is really sad for me to think back on because there were opportunities that I had to go to different countries that I turned down because I thought it was too much money to go there. I thought it was going to cost me so much, and it was not going to be worth it. I wasn't going to get anything out of it. That's really sad, but now I'm kind of making up for that, I guess. Number 4, this didn't happen in my 20s, but it happened when I was about 18, is when I got my first credit card. I maxed it out and then I stopped paying the bills on it, and it went to collections, and then I had to pay money that I was planning to use for my college tuition to pay off this credit card so that people would stop calling me. Obviously this is a really bad situation to be in, and I know that I will never get in that situation again willingly. Yeah, big mistake. Number 5 is being really self-conscious of my body. When I was growing up, I was very thin naturally. I ate really healthily because I craved a lot of healthy foods, and I was still extremely self-conscious of my body. I remember when I was looking for a prom dress in high school, I wanted to get this really beautiful yellow dress that was like silk, and I didn't buy it because I thought it made my arms look fat, I thought it made my stomach look fat, like you could see everything, and it was a beautiful dress, but I didn't want to wear it because I knew I'd be too self-conscious. And this didn't only happen that time, like obviously every time I put on a bathing suit or anything like that, I'd be so self-conscious about the way that I looked. If my stomach was like bloated or my arms were really fat, I always had this thing about my arms, and now looking back on it, I'm like, what's the point? You know, it's not helpful to dislike your body or think that you're not attractive. Now that I'm older, I can look back and realize this, but I think when you're young, it's really difficult to take yourself out of your own mind and think about what you're actually doing. Number 6 is not saying no when I don't want to do something or when I can't do something. So I would often overbook myself and say yes to everyone because I didn't want to say no. I hated turning down plans. I didn't want people to think I was boring, and so I'd say yes to everything, and then I'd often end up with someone getting mad at me because I obviously can't be in 2 places at once. And yeah, it wasn't healthy for me, and it wasn't helpful to my friends because it just didn't ever work out. Number 7 is not saying yes to things that I did want to do, and yeah, that one's pretty self-explanatory. Number 8 is not taking the time or energy to figure out what I want out of my life, and this did happen in my later 20s, so I'm happy for that, but I kind of just went with what happened in my life instead of actually stopping to think about what I actually want. So I think the biggest example of this is in partner relationships. I would kind of just date the people that came to me, and I would never really took the time to sit down and think about what I actually want in a partner. And once I did that and I was single for a while, then I actually found someone that is everything that I actually want in a partner, and I know that because I've taken the time to think about it. I'm proud of myself for that one. Number 9 is living paycheck to paycheck and not saving anything. I did have a savings account when I was in my 20s. The most that was ever in there was maybe $100. I was really bad with money. I would spend my entire paycheck before I'd get paid again. And like it would literally be down to a couple dollars if it wasn't overdrafted by the time I got paid again. So that was obviously a big mistake, and I wish that I could have gone back in time and even just invested a bit more, like even like anything, into a savings account and just been a bit more financially responsible, but what are you gonna do? Number 10 is not realizing what I was capable of. I really held myself back in a lot of ways by just thinking that I couldn't do these things that I wanted to do, if that makes sense. Another side part of this is being really hard on myself and not thinking of myself in a positive way. Every time someone said something negative to me, it would really bother me, but it also, like, I would say things that were 10 times worse to myself, and that's just such a terrible way to live, to think of yourself in that way, and to constantly be feeding yourself this negative energy is so bad, and it's so unhealthy, and it was just really not fun. And now I'm definitely working on just giving myself a lot more positive energy and being okay with myself and what I look like and who I am and all these things that are life. So yeah, that one got really deep. I hope you guys liked this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up and let me know what you guys think in the comments below and what your biggest mistakes were. I would love to hear about it, because thinking about this stuff is really a growing experience and makes me realize what I actually do want out of life and all of that stuff. So I hope you guys like this video. Oh, don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next video. Thank you so much for watching. Bye!